addressing it, maybe it'll go away. We know better, don't we? Problems don't go away. Problems don't evaporate into thin air. Problems have to be dealt with. As a parent, Job was proactive. He did not know any information that would say, here's what they've done. They've committed these wrongs. No, it was, again, it may be. And notice what he goes on to say. It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Now notice that. Again, the implication seems to be Job knew what went on overtly, externally. But it might be, possibly, that something was said in their heart. Now that's concern, isn't it? That's depth. And notice what he says, thus Job did regularly. So he gets up early, and it's because of it may be, okay, and it might be that something happened in their heart. And so he did this regularly. And so I think there's a lesson for parents here. This is the kind of concern that we need. And again, this certainly tells us that when we know something has happened, when we know something has gone on, we should be there. Not as a busybody, not as one who simply wants to condemn, but one who wants to help. These are our children, given to us by God, entrusted to us by the Creator. I am a steward. Remember, we're all stewards. Job was a steward of every blessing given to him, and obviously a faithful steward. And the greatest blessings given, our children, we're stewards in that capacity. How are we taking care of those souls that have been entrusted to us? It's an awesome responsibility, isn't it? Except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain who build it. Psalm 127 and verse 1. Children are a gift of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is its reward. Verse 3. Blessed is the man who has his quiver full of them. Verse 5 of that same psalm. Job had his quiver full. Had a quiver full of children. 7 sons, 3 daughters. He cared about them. He was a spiritual man. He wanted them to be spiritually minded. And so these are things that he did regularly. Lest somehow in their heart, possibly something took place. And so he would rise up early. Any comments on what we've said here concerning Job, concerning parents, concerning responsibility? I know we're running out of time. Jack?
Well, I think it just lends itself to reinforce again what seems to be part of the theme. And that is that it's just another instance of Job wanting to be in a right relationship with God, wanting his children to be in a right relationship with God. And it's that just in case, he's just making sure he's going through the efforts, the extraneous efforts to ensure that he's doing what God would expect him to do in the case that it might.
Okay.
So it really just supports him being the devout man that he was.
Okay. Again, as Jack points out, all of this ties back to verse 1. This man was blameless. This man was upright. This man did fear God more than he feared children. I know this may be getting off on a little tangent, but this is so important. As parents, sometimes if we're not careful, we parent out of fear. We are so afraid that this is going to happen, or if I say this, it might cause him or her to react in this way, and so fear paralyzes us. We're not going to do what we ought to do. We're not going to be that faithful steward in God's sight and be a father, a mother to our child because we're afraid, well, if I say that, if I do that, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Now, again, Job, as he is introduced, he lives up to that billing, even dealing with his children. I'm understanding from this that if he would have known something had happened, now again, he didn't. It may be. These things may have taken place in their heart. If he would have known something had taken place in one of those festivities that was wrong, Job, I'm convinced, would have been all over that for the sake of his children. But knowing that nothing had happened, he still is saying maybe, possibly, even with the intention of their heart. He wants to make sure things are right. Please do this if you will. Hold on to this study sheet. You know where we've gotten through the complement. Look at this sheet. Read the rest of chapter 1. We'll begin here in verse 6, Lord willing, next Sunday morning, and continue to work through chapters 1 and 2. Thank you for your comments. Again, so good to see everyone this morning. Yes, sir.
Why do I thinking of Barnabas in the New Testament?
Well, that's son of encouragement.
Well, I don't know. And